same deal. So like I have one
That's
that's
really
just
not a
for
bad
such a,
idea.
you know what I mean?
The
And
fact
then
that I've
and
never
you
considered having a Finsta for any other purpose other than lurking is crazy.
oh yeah, I don't give a fuck about
That's
people that are
really
doing because I don't even have enough patience to read the comments to find out what you were doing. I just don't
see.
have
I
enough
used to
patience for
have a
that.
lot of patience. I would read all the comments, cross
See, you were
reference.
the scroll
The last
detective.
time
I
you liked
couldn't.
a
Mm-mm.
listen, baby, couldn't get
That's
shit
rough.
past me.
CULTURE. Hey,
Hey,
what's
y'all.
going on? What's happening? What's good? And welcome back. Welcome to Culture 101, where we push the culture forward and have a damn good time doing it. I am one of your co-hosts. I am Trist. I am posted up in New York, Harlem. Yeah,
You tried
Harlem,
it.
son. Did that feel
You
New York?
tried
It's
it.
fine. I haven't been here long enough. It's fine. Either way, well, we're going to kick it right on over to Maryland, where there's some serious Philly energy in Maryland. And
First of
she's
all,
going
I'm
to tell
from
you all
Chester,
about it.
Pennsylvania.
Chester.
Let's represent.
He gonna correct you every time.
Every time I'm gonna have to let you know. I am from Chester, Pennsylvania, and I rep that proudly.
I know that's
But
right.
yes, it's your girl Shauna Dawn in the house. Hey y'all.
Hey.
Hey, it's not the week.
Yes.
And it's your nasally sis over here in Temple.
Good for you.
Y'all.
Good for you.
But yeah, anyway, I don't know what's going on. I have had the sniffles and, a congested and runny nose since Saturday night. And so been taking all the things
It's
thinking it
not the
might be a
week to
cold
quit
coming
doing
on. I don't
coke.
think it's that anymore.
You're
I think
right.
it might
It's
be
not the week to
allergies,
quit
which I
doing
don't
that.
really have allergies like that. So that's why I kind of ruled out allergies. Apparently, and I think that's what's happening now. So I just got me a nasal spray today, so hopefully it clears up because I will be in a wedding this weekend, and I do not need to be sick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good. That
Okay,
was
I'm
fun.
here
That
for
sounds
it.
better than my weekend. It was pretty dry. All I did was teach the little kiddos soccer, and that was about it.
Oh,
So you're
inspiring the kiddos.
improving the youth, and that was dry. Shame, shame.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
dry.
sometimes you gotta be team F them kids, so I get it. It's all right.
Right.
Well, that's
But Tristan,
real.
what you do this weekend?
I told you I've been working with
Ah,
DMV Roundtable, so we had an
this
event
guy.
this time through Roundtable New York, same entity, just a different arm of it, and it was a workshop we were hosting for actors. The venue is beautiful. It's called Alchemical Studios. They have so many. They have a whole dance studio. The studio we had was a big, beautiful space, like in the middle and space, and then the rooftop was great.
Oh,
And they're
sexy.
going to clear it out. It's a little turnout. We were expecting a few more people, but we had a little decent turnout. But buddy Andre was visiting me up here, so we were leading that class together. And then the next day, he's an actor as well. He was on set for a film that hasn't been released yet. I feel like I'm giving too much away, but either way, the film should be out sometime in the next month or two. So look for that, Unexplored. All right.
Finish
So
what you was
yeah, it was a
doing.
nice time, nice way to get into the weekend. So hopefully, a good sign of more things to come. But there is a beautiful sign of more things to come, and that sign comes in the way of a report about the streets, a report about what the streets need, what the pulse of the streets is. And we have the lady that's gonna she gonna give it to you. The camera flew up, but that's okay. Y'all can't see that if you're listening on Spotify. But either way, her name is Les the Prez, and god damn it, she's about to give you the bulletin board. Les, take it away.
All right. So sorry, Sean, but we are gonna start off a little somber here, but I feel like it's only right.
Yeah, I know. That was sad. I'm not
Yeah.
even upset that you put this one on the bulletin board because usually it'd be like 9 back to back. But
Yeah. So we want to give a rest in peace to Irish Grinstead, who was a member of the R&B trio 702. She passed away on Saturday at the age of 43. Her sister and bandmate Lamisha Fields announced the death in an Instagram post, but didn't provide any other details. I remember back in December that they announced that Irish would be taking a step back from some performances with the group due to a medical leave of absence from some serious medical issues. They didn't really disclose what those medical issues were, which is, their business, of course. But yeah, she passed away. Her twin sister, Orisha, passed away back in like 2008. So it's really sad because Lamisha has lost both her sisters at this point. And as we know, 702 hopped on the scene in the late 90s. Some of their biggest hits were, of course, where my girl's at, one of my favorites, Stilo from Cousin Skeeter and Get It Together. So we just want to send our deepest condolences and prayers over to Irish's entire family. I know they're really like suffering from this loss because 43 is way too freaking young. She was 10
Yes,
years
that
older
is.
than us. It's crazy. That's crazy, man. Yeah. So prayers to all of them who are feeling the loss of Irish. It's really truly tragic. So my next story I titled, which I feel like is so appropriate, Milkman.
Okay, I don't know where this is going.
Well, let me tell you, because boys are gonna go somewhere. So a 30-year-old mom of 3 children named Rachel Bailey breastfeeds her husband Alexander, who's also 30 years old. This first began.
Oh, was this on Strange
Mhm.
Addictions?
It was
Yes,
on Strange
I've seen the
Addiction.
episode.
Yes, and in the past like week or so, they've been on like all the blogs because they've spoken to like press and open up more about this. So that's why I'm bringing it up right now. So this first started back in 2016 when the couple went on a cruise after Rachel had birthed their first child, their oldest, and she forgot her breast pump at home. So she was badly engorged after, 2 days. She was in severe pain because she had no relief, no way to like get this milk out. So her husband, being the great supportive husband that he is, he took one for the team, and said, "Hey, honey, I got you." Exactly as Tristan is doing. He said he would relieve her.
Ew.
So I could tell Tristan gonna be that husband. He gonna be that man that would do that. So while it started out as a way for Alexander to help his wife when she was over lactating while nursing their kids, the pair found it to be an amazing bonding experience that they believe made their marriage stronger than ever.
Not made
The
their marriage stronger. That shit was just finished up half the time. What's going on?
So the couple are aware that what they're doing is not conventional and could be, considered weird or strange. But they don't care. They've continued to breastfeed long after, their 3 children have stopped. Uh-huh. So Rachel says while she knows the milk tasted different, she also knew she was giving her husband a great boost of nutrients as well as spending quality time together. She says he didn't get a cold for 2 years after he started drinking my milk, and so many people said his skin was so much better too. He ended up loving the taste of my breast milk
Now
and
wait a
even
minute. They
prefers
said
it
it's
over
good for the
cow's
skin.
milk.
Now hold on. Now you might be onto something.
He ain't get sick in 2 years. Maybe I'm doing something wrong because clearly I'm under the weather right now. What are we talking about here? He ended up loving the taste of my breast milk and even prefers it to cow's milk now. I mean, I prefer almond, but do you, boo boo? Hmm. So they say when she fell pregnant again for the second and third time, she began over lactating, and that's when he stepped in to help. She would breastfeed her husband at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but as she is now producing less
Lord,
milk, she only feeds him at night. She's not producing it.
I just feel like they're gonna just keep having babies so that she can continue to produce breast milk.
I feel like that too. I think so too. She ends the quote by saying, "Shortly after giving birth, when I was producing the most milk, Alexander was drinking my milk 3 or 4 times a day. Obviously, the babies are always fed before it's his turn. He would spend about 5 to 10 minutes on each boob. And it's funny because if I eat something spicy, it also gives him gas." What?
Thanks for all of that information.
But no, but now the real question is: so when y'all's titties become engorged because of childbirth and milk, are you gonna let your
Who
partner?
giving birth? If
Oh,
I
okay,
decide to
that's
have
That was
real.
kids,
a
I'm
hell
gonna
of
do.
an
I'm gonna.
assumption, Tristan. Actually, you don't know who's gonna be giving birth here.
I mean, we're in this scenario. Y'all are giving birth. This is the scenario.
Uh-uh. In
Y'all
my
are giving birth
scenario,
in
if
this
I do
scenario.
decide I actually want children, I'm gonna have a surrogate. I ain't doing it.
Leslie always
But
has said she
let's.
don't want to carry
I've been
kids.
said I
I
want a
get that.
surrogate.
I get that. I
Hmm.
understand that. But in this case,
And
you're
no, my
having a
husband
kid.
ain't sucking a surrogate's titties. No.
God,
I don't
that's
care how much
real.
pain she in.
Wow. Are you gonna do it then? Who gonna do it?
We gonna find a breast pump or something somewhere. We ain't doing that. Take her to the
Man,
hospital for some relief. We ain't doing that over here.
I just don't see a reason not to get this milk. Like, I don't see a reason not to. I don't drink cow's milk. I don't even drink it. Oat milk is decent, but this milk has hella vitamins. I'm not gonna get sick. My skin's gonna be great, and then I'm gonna eat avocados too. I'm gonna look amazing. I see no reason not to get this milk. Why would we not
My
get the milk?
thing is, I appreciate him being a great husband and helping her out in the time of need. And what y'all do behind closed doors is your business. However, when you present it to the world, of course, others who aren't familiar with this practice or don't agree with this practice are going to voice their opinions. It does seem a little like out of the norm. But again, it ain't got nothing to do with me. So do y'all. If it's working for your skin, brother, and keeping you, cold free, I'm happy for you. But
Mm-hmm.
like, it's say if I did have kids and I had that, like, it's one thing to be intimate with your partner and he do that. It's another thing for him to be like suckling on them like a child. Like, I don't
There's
know.
nothing sexy about that to me. That doesn't sound intimate. It doesn't sound like we are connecting. It sounds uncomfortable.
That's super real, and I get that.
You would.
But
You
if
would.
you're just offering the milk, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna say no. Why would I turn it down? That just seems foolish.
Tristan would be like, "Hey babe, how about that milk though? What's up?" Like,
I am kind of thirsty, and the refrigerator is so far.
right? Or he would be like, "We're out of oatmeal today. What you got for me, babe?"
Oh, good stuff. I'm excited.
No,
That's a good
you know
time.
what?
That's a
Okay.
good time.
I'm about to
What's the
move
last
on.
story?
So,
What is it?
moving on to my next story, my next and final story. So I titled this one Timmy Turner. Brooklyn-born rapper.
You look so burn.
I got bras.
Hey, that was a
Pussy
little
dick.
pop. They ain't know what he was saying, but Timmy Turner.
I
But
don't
hey,
know. I had
we
to
was
stop
bopping
signing
to
the
it.
words.
It's irrelevant.
He was a mumble rapper. It's fine. Well, what's not irrelevant is why he is in the news. So, Brooklyn-born rapper designer has been ordered to register as a sex offender as part of his sentencing for exposing himself to flight attendants while on a flight back to the U.S. from Japan in April of this year.
Yeah, he tried it.
He tried it. So, TMZ reported designer was sentenced to 2 years probation as part of his sentencing. He must also participate in psychiatric evaluation, drug testing, and perform 120 hours of community service. He's the rapper is also barred from owning.
The kids got to do that to graduate high school. That is not that many hours.
So the rapper is also barred from owning or possessing firearms. So according to the initial charging documents, the designer told federal agents that he didn't get much cootie while overseas and was brick hard when he got on the plane. I'm sorry.
Not enough.
Get no cutty last night. This part was a little hard for me to understand, but in the documents it added that the flight attendant aroused him, and these are in quotes. So it says he kind of showed her the magic stick, thinking it would give her encouragement. So he got aroused. He then showed her his magic stick, trying to like encourage her to maybe do a little something, 21, can you do something for me? That's what it was giving, those vibes.
Is that what that song is about? I hope not.
Or handle it while you're still in your hotel
That's their
room.
business.
Like, what? So the rapper claimed he wasn't under the influence of alcohol or drugs at the time of the incident and didn't appear to be impaired when talking to the FBI. Following the incident, designer put out a statement on Instagram saying he'd been struggling with his health and was ashamed of his actions. He's quoted saying, "For the past few months, I have not been okay, and I've been struggling to come to terms with what's going on. While overseas for a concert I performed at, I had to be admitted to a hospital, and I was not thinking clearly. They gave me meds, and I had to go hop on a plane. I'm ashamed of my actions that happened on that plane, and I landed back in the United States, and I'm admitting myself into a facility to help me." So yeah, we gonna pray for the brother because we don't know if he's going through stuff mentally or what the case may be. So hopefully he comes out on the other side of this. Has learned to not do this again. But he actually did announce that he was quitting rapping for good after Takeoff's death. So that may have something to do with where his mindset was. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So we just gonna pray for the brother. And that's all I have for y'all. So I'll continue to keep my ears to the street and report back next week.
Yay, yay.
It felt like a yay yay moment. I
It
felt that.
did. It did. You felt that in your spirit.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your main man Trist, and you are now tuned in to Culture 101.
How do y'all feel like social media impacts imposter syndrome?
I would agree.
Mhm.
I would agree. And I
Mhm.
think that plenty of people have put the nail on the head. These are curated experiences that people are showing us. They're not showing us when they wake up first thing in the morning with the crust in their eyes. At least not without the face tuned and filters on.
Right. They're showing us after they wash their face, set up the camera, and then they get out of bed. It's like, what? Who does that?
Exactly. And the ones who ain't doing it, ain't nobody looking at them knowing.
Right.
Like nobody
Exactly.
looking at them. We all had them friends that just
Mhm.
get on and put everything they
Yeah.
doing on it. Nobody's looking at that. But the people who are like the influencers and like who have all of the large followings, they curate these experiences, and it does contribute to people feeling like how their lives should be at any given certain time. And it's so unfortunate because I think that if you really shifted the view of how you looked at social media and looked at like, yes, like all these people are putting their best selves out there, there's also such a wide variety of what the best self is and what different people are doing in their lives at different times. You do have those people who are like, 32, married, and got all these kids and like living that life. But then you also got the 32-year-olds who quit their jobs to travel the world for like the last 2 years and like are showing the world that. There are all these different kinds of people putting their lives out there. So I would argue that if you want to have a more palatable and like representative experience that maybe doesn't make you feel so badly about yourself, curate what you see, curate your viewing experience, because these things are based on algorithms. Like things that make you feel good just as much as you liking the shit that make you feel bad about yourself. Like, no, but for real.
Yeah.
For real. Like, I follow some pages because it's like it reminds me of how far I've come, and then I follow other pages because it reminds me of how far I still want to go.
I like that.
I feel that.
Yeah, there's something that definitely comes with age. I feel like when I first started being on Instagram, I would just be following anybody. I'm like, oh, I like the way this person dresses. I like this. I like that. And just following people for very vain reasons. I had to go on an unfollow spree one time, though, because I'm just like, all of this content is just not really healthy, to consume all this and then comparing yourself to other people.
Yep.
Whose struggles you don't even know. And it seems like a lot of times on social media, people don't tell you about their struggles until afterwards. They'll be like, yeah, I was fired from my job 9 months ago, but now I just got a new job. You didn't know when they got fired. You knew when they got the new job. So people are only telling you the highs and not the lows.
Or you got the people like Tyrese hopping on live to fucking cry. It's like,
my God.
bro. Get a diary, get a therapist, something.
Oh, we're gonna pray for that
diary.
brother. But to that point, I was gonna ask that question because, like Sean just said, we see, I think specifically Instagram as like a highlight reel of how everyone's doing great or they're traveling here and there. Versus, I feel like TikTok now has given people more of that diary feel to where like they're revealing all the things that they're going through or that they experience. So do you feel like one is better than the other? All of it is like unnecessary, or it's okay to a certain degree to divulge some of that private information?
Oh, I think it's perfectly fine to divulge that private information with certain caveats. One is you are divulging private information to the internet, which everybody has access to. And once it's out there, it is out there.
Yes.
So don't be hollering like, oh my God, confidentiality. You put it out there.
Right.
First of all. Or you in my business.
Right.
You invited us.
You put me in it.
Literally put us in it. Put me in the seat right in the front.
So
like,
now I need
relax.
part 13
Even in
since
close
I'm here
friends.
now. Like,
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So there's a way to do it where you can, air out your business to people you feel comfortable doing it. But that's not how people use it. That's not how we use it. The other thing I was gonna say is I'm biased. I'm not on TikTok.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's not to say I don't see them because TikToks end up everywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm not on the app, and I haven't like went to the website and like got into like, because you know I hear about how you can get sucked in. So
Girl, yes. Like, don't do it to yourself.
I can
you
just
be on
imagine
there.
if it's anything like Instagram, but it's straight videos. No.
Yes. You be like, oh, I'm just gonna scroll for like 10 minutes, girl. 2 hours go by. You part 40 deep in someone's business about how they cheated, their husband left him. Now he got, it'd be some unnecessary stuff that you never needed to know, but now you're like, I'm intrigued. What else happened? Like, tell me more.
See, the way my ADHD is set up, I'd be there all week, literally.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, girl, did you hear what LaShandra said?
Mm-hmm.
And like, who the fuck is LaShandra? On TikTok.
Yes.
Cassandra,
And then you
her.
comment something basic, so the algorithm brings you back to the next part, so you can still stay in the loop. So
exactly.
It's a mess.
Oh damn, Leslie, you know the trick.
You really do, because I was not aware of any of that.
Yes, you gotta interact with the things. The longer you interact with it, the more it'll put that kind of thing in your timeline.
Yep.
So it's some stuff like I will like I literally like it, but I will not like it because I don't want to see that kind of shit again.
Correct. Exactly. Like I am very like fastidious with that button. I'm like
double taps.
Cause like if it's sport related, I like it. Send that shit on. Send it all on. I'm never gonna say no. But as soon as like now you start giving me an angle and a spin, hold up, wait, let me go through about 5 or 6 more of your videos.
Exactly.
Okay, I see. You did vote for DeSantis. Exactly. No, I'm okay. We're gonna put that aside.
Like I kind of like monitor the amount of celebrities I follow too for that same reason, because it's like can't be doing that because I ain't no fucking celebrity and I can't move like one, so I can't be consuming like feeling like I'm supposed to be living like Young Miami. No, bitch, you got student loans
and no Diddy in your pocket. So
does
no
anybody
Diddy in my pocket?
Does anybody have a Finsta?
No. I feel like it's usually for celebrities or like people who are trying to sneak and creep without.
In my younger days, I had one, and it wasn't because I was sneaking and creeping. It's because I was watching.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I got you. It be like that sometimes in our younger years. Now that we know better, we do better.
You know
that's low key detective shit. I'm here for it. I can't hire a private eye, but what I can do,
I tell you,
I used to also fuck with CSI heavy.
Oh, that was my show. Come on,
only CSI Miami for me. CSI Miami, that was the one.
No, the regular one, the Vegas one, that was the show.
I mean, it was cool. I don't know. It's something about David Caruso. He just did the right thing. I don't know. It's something about Mr. Red. He came in there doing the right thing.
I used to tell folks my daddy was Horatio. Okay.
Not Horatio.
That's funny as shit. That's funny as shit.
That is.
All right. So, Doctor, what is one thing that you have accomplished that you never thought you would accomplish?
I was thinking about this when I read that, and I was like, damn, is there anything I haven't done?
If the answer is looking this good all the time, then that should not be the answer.
Honestly,
should not be
that
the answer.
is the fucking answer, because I had no fucking idea. The Lord looked out, okay?
Okay.
But no, I would, on a serious note, I would say that I never doubted that I could be like, when I wanted to be a Supreme Court justice, I never thought like, oh, you can't do that, because I was like, yes, I can. Like, why can't I? Kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I never thought, like, I was a child then, so it's like there's a lot of things I didn't know about. And as I've grown into the woman I am today, what I can say that I'm surprised about is that, like, I never thought that I would work at Duke. I never thought that I would do fucking internship in Minnesota. Never thought that I would go to Howard. Like, I knew that I wanted to be a psychologist, but I didn't know that that would mean like that you're gonna be a doctor and all of these things. Like, so a lot of the things that I have actually accomplished, I never thought that I would, but I can say that I never doubted that I could. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I love the way you put that. Yeah.
For some strange reason, I've always thought that I could do anything I put my mind to, and I think it's because
For
when I
some
was
strange
younger.
reason. Is that a strange reason, or is that how we should
It is
feel?
Yeah,
strange. No, it really is strange
Talk,
because it's
talk your
audacious.
shit.
It's
No, it's
audacious
not.
as fuck.
No, it's
It's
not at
audacious
all.
as fuck to
No,
be
it's
like,
not.
oh, I can do whatever I put my mind to and be like good at it. Because it's like,
And actually do it.
who the fuck
Yeah.
are you? But
What do
I
you
think I
mean?
figured
The
that
What you
out
motherfucking
because
dentist.
mean?
What do you mean?
Huh?
y'all,
You like? Are you not a human being? You like don't have a
I
dua
am.
mater,
But that's
an
it. That
axon,
is
and
just it.
dendrites? Girl,
That
you
is
can
just
figure
it.
it
I'm
out.
just a human being. I'm just a
What do you
human
mean,
being.
just? That's a powerful
I'm
thing right
just a
there.
human being, just like
That's
everybody
hella fun.
else. And I think that growing up, like I remember being a kid and like experimenting with shit like, oh, I want to like write poetry. Let me try. And I would like write some shit. Or like, I want to be a singer. Let me try singing. Or I want to be an artist. Let me try drawing and stuff. And it was like, the shit was good. I was like, oh shit, like
You can
I'm
sing
good
too?
at it. So I was like, I guess I really can do whatever I want to do, like, and be good at it. Like, that's crazy. So that's why I ended up believing it. But I had the thought first of like, I think I really can. And then I tested
Mhm.
it out. And, there are obviously some things I can't do well. Like, I'm not great at basketball, but you can't tell me that though.
But I would
Cross you
argue,
over.
but I would also argue this. I feel like you're not great at basketball because you can't dedicate the time to it that you would need. Do you know that Steph Curry looked and said the other day he wondered how many shots he had taken? And like, just guess how many shots do you
It's
think he's
probably
taken
over
in his
smooth
career?
over $1 billion.
No, it wasn't a
Yeah.
billion. No, not quite a million. It was like 7 million. It was like 7 million.
7
Oof.
million.
Yeah, it was like
Dang.
7. It was crazy. It was something like insane. And then in his career, like in the NBA, it's like 700,000 or something like that. So like
So
all
he's been
that to
counting
say,
since childhood? Like, ooh, that's
no,
dedication.
they were counting all his attempts and everything throughout his college and then NBA career.
Gotcha.
So not
And
even
then
counting him growing up in a
Right.
basketball playing ass family.
right, that was
Right.
how we approximated like the 7 million thing. But like he was just counting all the practice shots he had taken and everything, like from his college time to the NBA, like to where he was now. So in the 12 years he's played in the NBA and then what, like 3 years in college, something like that. So I'm just saying,
It's
like, I
crazy.
feel like you dedicate the time to it.
Then you could be a beast.
I
Right.
mean, I'm inclined to agree because, okay, again, I hope the crowd don't kill me over this. And I'm gonna start out by saying this: I fuck with my sis the longest of ways. Okay, the longest of ways. That's my girl. We from the same place. However,
Literally.
I heard them tapes of her when she was like 6 or 7 singing, and sis did not sound good. Did not sound good. But you know what? Her parents had her practice, dedication, vocal coaching, all that. And now my sister's fucking Beyonce. The fuck?
Mhm.
Like,
Well,
there's no,
yeah.
ask her how many notes have she sang? How many runs
Right.
has she tried in
Yeah.
practice? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I bet you it's something like 7 million or some shit like that. Ridiculous. And I bet you she still deals with imposter syndrome. And she's motherfucking Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter.
I believe that. I believe that for sure.
Do you think there are some things that we can do as like a whole generation that can help our future generations combat imposter syndrome?
Yep.
Like,
Great
what would
question.
that look like?
I think that one of the ways we can do that is by being visible in what it is that we do. I think that growing up, at least in our generations, we kind of got like part of the narrative of what adulthood is supposed to be like. And I feel like we didn't get the full story of what it was really like until we arrived. And it was like, yo, this is some bullshit. Nobody said it was going to be bullshit. Y'all just said like you had to pay bills and stuff, but nobody said anything about the rest of adulthood, like the physical and maturity wise, like changes you have to go through in order to become like a fully developed, mature adult. So there's that piece, but there's also the piece of like, remember what I said about not knowing anybody who did what I wanted to do that looked like me or had anything in common with me. So like having a Black therapist probably would have helped, or knowing somebody who was, having Black doctors or nurses and seeing Black people in the spaces, people like us. I'm not just going to say Black people like us in the spaces that we want to see ourselves in. I think that's one way we can do it, but also while holding those spaces, hope and pave the way so others can join us. Don't be a gatekeeper. Like, it's enough room for all of us, you know?
Yeah. I was just going to add to that. I also think, along with what you said, and it sparked from what you said earlier about your parents, like speaking life into the younger kids at a young age, like telling them they can do anything they want to do or be anything that they want to be, along with showing them based on, what we do and how we're living, that type of thing. But like for my niece, for instance, she turned 9 this year and she just started gymnastics, but she has been tumbling since she was like, could stand since she was like 3, so she's a natural at it. And they wanted to place her on like the older kids team because she's already so good. But my brother-in-law was like, no, I want her to learn the basics. So she's going to stay in her age group. But her teammates already voted her captain. So it's just like, and I tell her, you're going to be the next Simone Biles. No, you're going to have more awards than Simone Biles. You're going to be so great. Like, I'm just trying to like speak that life into her and give her that confidence because her face lights up when she's out there tumbling and stuff. You can see like she really enjoys it. So I think speaking life into them as such that early. Even my other niece who like just loves reading. Every time she comes around, she'll have a book in hand, like, Titi, will you read with me? And I'm like, you're such a great reader. Like, oh my gosh, you pronounce everything. Like, just like speaking that life into them, I think is so important.
It's important. It is important, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of the messages that they're going to receive from the rest of the world is not going to be speaking life into them. So they're going to need an internal narrative to combat that.
Yeah.
And not just believe it. I love that. I love that idea. And I really love that, like, not only are you speaking life into your nieces, but like you have tangible examples of people who look like them that you can say, you're going to be the next such and such, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that we also have the benefit of being as far removed as we are from slavery, because we can have like more of these firsts and it be less of like a novel thing. And while you were talking, it also dawned on me that like I didn't just get the idea that I could be anything I wanted to be out of nowhere. That was told to me. Like my mom did tell me that I could do whatever the fuck I wanted to do, and I believed her. So I think that speaking life to the youth is very important, just as important as being visible and giving them that guiding hand.
Yeah, 100%. You know what it was for me? It was Nas taught me when he dropped that. I know I can be what I want to
be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be.
I'll be where I want to be.
Exactly.
I remember hearing that song for the first time. What'd you say, Sean?
I said I love them little old school inspirational songs.
Is that an old school tune now?
Now it's old school, yes, for sure.
We're at that age where it's old school.
We are, yes.
Yes, thanks.
I think they came out in like maybe 2000.
It came out in 2003, if I'm not mistaken.
So 20 years ago.
Yeah,
20 years ago.
20 years ago is not 1980. It's 2003. Yeah.
That hurts. That hurts inside. I don't like it. But see, now that makes me feel like there's something you said earlier. You were talking about how like I wish that they had given us game on life, but like I feel like they did, and we just didn't listen. Because I feel like that's what they say: youth is wasted on the young. You know what I mean? Because it's just like if like really consider this right here. If your parents literally gave you the book of high school, they were like, "This is how high school goes. You should do these things, like fucking 10 Things I Hate About You or something." Like they literally gave you a fucking book and were like, "Here, if you follow this, you will have all the things you need in high school." You wouldn't have done this shit. You would have done it. You wouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have done it.
That's natural, though. That's natural. I feel like it's a normal part of, and I feel like it's really a setup because, like, if the time period for like figuring yourself out and becoming your own person and like being so egocentric didn't coincide with like being a teenager, then more kids would listen to their parents during that stage. But because they do, it's like, even if, because when you ask that question, I start to be like, my parents wouldn't know what the fuck to tell me about high school. Like, they would be wrong anyway. It's like, that's why I wouldn't listen to them.
Real.
But then I thought about it, like, none of these kids would listen to their parents because they would all think that they're wrong, even if they are right. But that's normative.
Because Because there'll be things they'll tell you. They're like, that doesn't, you don't know because we wear jabos. My jeans shouldn't even be that tight or whatever the fuck we were talking about at that time. You know what I mean? Because I just
Now
feel
look at
like
him in
that would
these
be
tight-ass
that, and then you
pants.
would get hung up on that because you're young, so you get hung up on the wrong shit. And then that would just be further like this old person doesn't know. When in reality, if you could just like look back and be like, damn, they did know. Fuck, they did. They really did.
All the old people that ever gave me advice, they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and shout out to Duran Bernard because he's the one that said this. But the reason why we were so like pressed, I know I love him so much. Oh, God,
I was literally almost about to
see him
sing
next
Sam's
week. I go
vibe.
see him next week.
Oh, where? Where you gonna see him? Where?
In Durham. It's gonna be my second time seeing him this year.
Oh
Nice.
my gosh, I'm so jelly.
So excited.
But yeah, he said we were so pressed to grow up because we didn't have that like autonomy to make our own decision as kids. We were always told to like stay in a child's place or stay out of grown folks' business. So we were just pressed to like be old enough to where we can go where we wanted to go, do what we want to do, and not have to be told, we can't do something, versus really understanding the reality of what it means to be an adult and all the other things that comes with it. Like we weren't taught that part or told that part. So that's why we were in a rush to grow up. Yeah.
It's 1,000% why I was ready to grow the fuck up.
Oh yeah,
that too. Yeah. We were definitely told that as well.
My father told me that.
Don't have a baby.
10 years old. Never forget that. Yeah, because that's when in 5th grade you get that class or whatever, and he was and he was just like, "I'm gonna tell you one thing and one thing only. Don't bring me home no babies." I said,
"That's
what
Mama said." Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That was the birds and the beanstalk. Not how it works, how it goes. Two people fall in love. No, don't bring no baby home. Yes, ma'am.
But that's why it's important to give kids a voice while they're growing up. Yeah. I think that absolutely I was in a rush to grow up so I could make my own decisions. But I think my reasons were a little different. I wasn't just trying to be grown. I wanted to be in control of my life so it could be a good one.
No, that's real. Ooh.
So I wasn't in a rush to grow up because like I believed them when they said you don't want to have to pay bills and shit, because I believed. I was like, I don't want to. Like, I look stressed the fuck out. So I don't want to do that. But what I also don't want to do is all the stupid shit you tell me I got to do because you say so. And I know that it's wrong.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
So.
Can we play this game for 2 seconds where we go back into high school right now with what we know now? Like, what does that look like? Is that like, would you, I feel like you were talking about combating imposter syndrome. That would combat it right there.
Oof.
Baby, I would get kicked the fuck out.
No, you wouldn't know, because you would know how to evade all those things. You would know how to evade everything.
I wouldn't give a shit because I know.
That's a good point.
More so now that shit don't matter. I thought it didn't matter then. I super know it don't matter now. So I'd be like,
for me, it wouldn't even be going back to high school. It'd be going back to Howard for me, because I feel like I dealt with imposter syndrome a lot at Howard, because in high school you're the smartest of the smart. You're the top of your class. But you get to Howard, everybody's that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's a lot harder to stand out or like achieve some of the things because you have such, stiff competition that you're going against with some of these like organizations or roles or whatever you're trying to achieve. And then I don't know, the classes are a lot different and maybe a lot harder. Something you were great at, in high school, like it's tougher at Howard, you know what I'm saying? So I dealt with that a lot at Howard. So it would be going back there for me for sure. Maybe change the trajectory on something. I might even change my major. I may have been in school of communication instead of school of business, now that I look back at like what I want to do and what I actually enjoy doing. So I feel like a lot would change if I could go back for sure.
Yeah. Same here. I definitely would take it back. I would probably go back to high school so that I could have the funds to afford to really go to Howard. And
that too.
That part. Like
there you go.
Make sure I solidify the funds that I was not focused on.
More work.
I only applied to 2 colleges. I was not really that I wasn't really, I don't know. I guess I didn't care that much. I just knew I was going to get into one of the 2, but I wasn't really focused on trying to get scholarships and doing things like that. So I would have definitely gone back to that time, so I wouldn't owe so much damn money.
Well, for me, I just knew I wanted to go to Howard since middle school. So I didn't care about like all the other financial aid at the other like schools here in Texas. I was like, I told my mom, I don't care what it costs. We'll figure it out. And I'm going to get there. And yeah, we did that. But now you got to figure out the cost. You got to think about it on the back end. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely would change that as well.
Oh, blush, buddy. So we talked about I didn't know if
Your
y'all could
dog's
hear that. It was
face.
so loud.
Yeah, it was.
Bless
Jenika
you,
set up
buddy.
like, huh?
My Jenny sat up like, who the heck was that?
That is hilarious.
All right, hold on. Ooh. All right. We talked about imposter syndrome a lot, but we didn't talk about how to really deal with imposter syndrome. So I have a few steps to let us know how you're supposed to deal with imposter syndrome when you're feeling, I guess, overwhelmed or you're feeling like you're not enough. Stop. Allow yourself to stop in your tracks and take a moment to pause. Second step is breathe. Give yourself a deep breath. Let your thoughts go and not be attached to them. Step 3, notice. Notice your feelings, your body, your surroundings, your peers, the situation, your reaction, and anything else that you notice. Reassess. Evaluate the situation and reason you felt a need to fall into imposter syndrome. Respond. React initially. It can be
Intentionally.
more. That's definitely what that says.
I got you.
Respond. React intentionally. It can be more informed and composed. And now that you have calmed yourself down. Next, personality. Some personality types are more linked to internalizing feelings of pressure, doubt, and failure. Times of stress or transition, even unrelated to work, it can make it worse. These steps are how you combat imposter syndrome. When you're going through it in a moment and you're feeling overwhelmed, you need to just take a step back. This is what you should do.
It kind of sounded like, stop, breathe, count to 3.
Is that the song that came?
What is that?
From PBS, yeah.
I remember that.
All I could
Wait,
think
how
was
does
"Stop in the Name of Love." That's all I was thinking. I was,
Stop
stop
in
in
the
the
name of
name of
love.
love.
Whose
But
song
that's
was that?
easier said than done because realistically, you might stop, you might pause, try to reassess, but it's easy to go back into your head, especially if you suffer with intrusive thoughts. Like it's easy to go back into your head and stress yourself out. So really trying to take that time and that moment to reassess is very important. Because
The
Yeah,
you're the baddest.
respond is what gets
You
me.
are the fucking baddest. That's it. Point blank,
yeah. I think
period.
the reassessment is that checking the facts part, like I was saying, because to
Right.
keep from getting back in your head, look at how you feel versus what is, and do they match?
But you don't find the response problematic, because I feel like that's the moment, at least for myself, where like you've reassessed. So now my mind's come up with all these different scenarios, and it's like, how do you respond? Like it's taking that action. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's the step I feel like I might have the most trouble with, I suppose. Like, how do you want to respond?
I think it depends on what the situation is that you're experiencing the imposter syndrome. So, like if it's before you're about to give a talk, then your focus needs to be on getting yourself ready and focused for that talk. And so maybe checking the facts is, are you prepared for the talk? Did you practice? Like, did you study your lines? Do you know what it is? Do you have notes? And maybe taking 3 or 4 yawns, because that'll help you focus and get your head in the game.
You said
To get
yawns.
ready. Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people think yawning is a signal that you're tired, which in a lot of cases it is, but it actually does the
Don't do that. It's
opposite.
contagious, Trish.
Helps your body focus. Yeah, and the truth is, if you fake yawn like 3 times in a row, a real one will come. But it doesn't matter if it's a real yawn or a fake yawn; you'll still have the same effect about increased focus.
Interesting.
And attention.
I thought yawning was an indication that the brain was not getting enough oxygen. Like that's what my
No,
coach used to always tell me. He was just like, if you're
no,
yawning
that's not what
here,
I mean.
it's also that your brain is not getting enough oxygen. So that's why you
Well,
like you're
your brain
breathing through your
doesn't
mouth.
breathe, so your brain doesn't need oxygen.
Aha.
But doesn't it need blood
It
flow?
needs
Isn't that what they
blood.
mean?
It needs blood.
But isn't that what they mean though? The oxygen going to the blood?
But if you're yawning, how is that going to increase oxygen?
Because you're taking
Isn't
in more.
yawning
You're breathing through
exhaling?
your. Generally, when I yawn, I inhale. Don't you inhale when you yawn? I never exhale. Are you breathing out when you yawn? Am I yawning wrong for years?
Sorry, yawning wrong.
Exhaling. You
Well,
know,
I
No,
inhale,
I'm
but I
like,
hold it and breathe out. Like I don't like.
yeah, like I
but you're
take a deep
exhaling
breath.
for longer than you inhale.
Right.
I don't know, man. My shit be.
You
so extra.
No, but that's how I do
Just
it.
saying,
That's how I do it. I don't know what to tell you. That's just what I
I love
do.
this breathing exercises we're doing
So
right
wait,
now.
since we're here, can you clarify something else? Is it true that when you sneeze, your heart stops?
it can.
Ooh.
It
That's
can.
why they say don't
Yeah.
hold in your sneezes, because I have a loud sneeze.
Well, that's
and
not
sometimes
why
I'll
they
hold
say
it
that.
in.
That's not gonna stop your heart for longer. That's not gonna stop your heart for longer. That's not how that works.
Leslie, like I'm about to die. I don't want to die.
I don't know
No,
if
but
that's
it is
right.
why you should be careful
my
if you have
sneeze.
like a bunch of sneezes back to back, like 10 back to back. Then you do need to be careful, and you don't want to hold those. But like holding your sneeze isn't gonna make your heart stop for longer.
Okay. I thought I was gonna give myself an involuntary heart attack or something. Like Jesus.
I do feel like when I sneeze that like everything is coming out of me. Like it's over. Like when I sneeze, like it's a powerful. It's just like
It's so extra.
That's
all
funny.
right.
It's so extra.
Like I need a moment to
You one of
reassess
them
and to catch my shit.
people.
Oh my goodness. I am a loud sneezer though. That's why I try to like hold it in when I'm around people. But if I'm just like home chill, like I don't care. But it's loud for no reason.
Well, I guarantee you won't give yourself a heart attack by holding it.
If you blink, you can hold your sneezes. That's how you do it. You got to blink a bunch. If you have to sneeze and you shouldn't sneeze, you blink a bunch.
Like if you look into the light, then your sneeze will go away.
Yawning so much.
That and if you start talking about sneezing, it'll make it go away.
Oh yeah,
If you be like, no, I'm about to sneeze, it'll go away.
Okay. We learned so many gems today. Come on.
Yeah, we are.
Y'all getting a 2-for-1 special on this episode.
Oh my God, have we reached the end of all the questions?
We have.
I believe we have.
Oh my gosh. I see here that we have a quote from Ari Lennox, so I guess I'll read that when we sign off here just a bit. So that's how. Leslie, would you like to read this?
Well, it goes with this because I actually saw this a few weeks ago. She posted this, and
bust it.
Yeah, this actually made me sad because it's like, again, someone who has such high esteem, who has achieved so many things, and it like is working in her passion, still feels this way.
Incredibly talented,
incredibly beautiful. Her personality is amazing, but she still feels this way. And she's quoted saying, "I hate that I crave validation in every ounce of my life. It's truly a miserable existence. I hate that I wish I were cool. I'm embarrassed. I don't know when I'll ever start loving myself. I don't know if it's possible. I can't even enjoy all that I've created for myself." So I put that in there just because, like, it doesn't matter, like, you know, your walk of life, what you've achieved or whatever. We all, in some way, shape, or form, have experienced imposter syndrome, are currently or will at some point in time. But I think with what we've spoken today, you know, being able to identify it, being self-aware, and like the tools that we've given to combat that, hopefully we can all come out on the other side of imposter syndrome and just feel great about ourselves and where we are in our lives.
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that is that that I think a lot of people struggle with loving themselves because they think it's an all or nothing thing, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Love is unconditional, and so you can love yourself without conditions too, meaning you don't have to like that you have, you know, stretch marks or that you're not cool, but still love yourself for being who you are, kind of thing. Like, that's okay. It's okay to have insecurities, and that doesn't mean you don't love yourself.
Girl, we'll have to have you on again to elaborate more on that. That's a whole other topic right there. Come on.
I mean, because
we can get into some self-love talk now. Come on.
I mean, insecurities are one of those things that like they just come about. You know, like there's shit that you weren't insecure about, then there's new shit that you become insecure about. You know what I mean? Like as your world grows, like there's different things you'll become insecure about. Stuff that used to care, you know, that's just life though. So,
or stuff you've been insecure about your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like you just
That's true. That's true. Some stuff doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel that.
Which is why you gotta love yourself without conditions.
There you go.
Jenika, are you an Outkast fan?
Oh, she's like, is that a
question?
Pig's
pussy pork?
Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Let's get it the fuck twalking. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, yo.
The reason Ari Lennox But that thing that she said made me think of something Andre 3000 said in at the end of Elevators. You know, where he's talking to like because the last verse in Elevators he runs into that guy and he was like, he said, "Man, I know you got buku with host of them songs you done made." He said, I replied to him, "I've been going through the same things that you had. True, I got more fans than the average man, but not enough loot to last me to the end of the week. I live by the beat like you live check to check. You don't move your feet and I don't eat, so we about neck to neck." That shit is crazy. Like, I mean, go check out the rest of the song, y'all. But that's just crazy that, you know, like you go to them and you're like, "Oh my God, I revere you. This is so fantastic. Like you're doing all this, but you don't know what I have to do to keep it this fantastic." You know?
They're human too. They are human too. And just like Beyonce, she's human too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I get it. Well, we really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us. We really do.
Yeah.
And
thanks
coming
for
and
having
really
me.
doing it for the culture. Did she do it for the culture, guys? Did she do it for the culture?
Absolutely.
Did it for the
Come
culture.
on.
Came in here with an amazing bun and all. We love it. We
Oh,
love it. We
thank
loving
you,
up
my
too.
little bud.
Super
You want
cute.
to
We
say
see
bye
you.
to the friends? Say bye,
Bye.
friends.
Bye, buddy.
He's like, "Why you got me on this camera, girl?"
He's like, I was asleep.
Oh, so cute.
All right, y'all. Well, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Les, 1/3 of the Culture One-on-One podcast. We want you to stay locked in for more content coming to you soon. Stay tuned.
And it's time for Do It for the Culture.
Hey,
Do it.
hey,
Shauna Don.
hey,
Take it. Do it for the culture. Do it.
Hey, this week and Do It for the Culture, Tristan, you are gonna love this. It is
Am
all
I?
sports.
Yay! Yes, about time. It's about
So
time.
I'm sure you've heard of this. Maybe it's new to some. But have you ever heard of Deion Sanders?
I have heard of him once or twice.
He sounds vaguely
Yeah.
familiar.
Okay.
I
So
do know
Deion
him.
Sanders, maybe once or twice. So he has made Boulder, Colorado, the center of the sports world now. Within his first year as head coach, he led the Colorado Buffaloes a 3-0 start. That means they won 3 games and they lost 0 games, in case you guys don't know that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. It's very important.
Just in case you guys don't know that. So
Yeah.
Deion took the program that was once 1 to 11, meaning they won 1 game, 11 games last season,
Come on,
and used the
clarification.
transfer protocol to revamp the team with former players from HBCUs. So that was a big thing in the news when it happened. I'm sure you guys remember when that was going on. So Deion warned the players from the previous Colorado Buffaloes team that they might not have a spot and urged them to leave to make room for other players.
Which is fair.
Which
if you didn't meet the criteria, if you weren't, up to par, you gotta go. Like, it's free game for everybody. He's creating the team that he desires. So here we are.
Yeah, you got to have the proper culture. I mean, because the thing is that you need you need your best players on the field.
Yep.
You definitely do.
And he went to HBCUs and he found them best players.
Yeah.
So now the black households have been glued to watching the Buffalo's first few games. Celebrities such as Snoop Dogg, Offset, Master P, Dwayne Johnson, and many more have been attending their football games now.
It's a star-studded event. Like, people fly. They taking their private jets to Colorado just to see these games live.
What's really funny about? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tristan.
No. I have quite a bit. Finish up.
Okay, we're gonna get there.
We'll get there.
He's ready.
Okay,
He's
cool.
excited.
Right. So the Colorado Buffaloes merchandise has become some of the hottest sports gears.
I literally almost bought some this past weekend. I thought about it. I really did.
Oh, you
I
did?
really thought about it. I don't know whose jersey I want just yet. We're gonna let it get to about week 6 or 7.
Either Shiloh Shador. I would get one of them. Probably Shiloh.
I might want Travis Hunter's jersey.
Oh yes, Travis too. He's gonna be out for 3 to 4 weeks after taking that hit.
Well, I assume we were getting to that. I assumed it was in there.
Well, we'll talk about that after what Sean said, because she's just doing the Do It for the Culture. But yes, you and I, we can touch on that.
You want to touch on that later?
Yeah.
All right, let me get back into these numbers. First of all, the sales have skyrocketed to over 800%.
Absolutely.
And also, within 1 day of announcing its collaboration design with Deion Sanders, Blenders Eyewear Company received $1.2 million in pre-orders.
For those Deion shades.
For Deion shades. It has been crazy. So Sanders has already been known for his swag and his boasting all about. He's a very big personality.
It's important. It's imperative.
And he brought that personality to Colorado, and that has drawn a lot of criticism from other college coaches. So anyway, a journalist was recorded saying, so many people hold on to the misguided belief that there are right ways to do something to achieve the highest success in sports. And that right way for Black folks ought to be as far from flashy as possible. And a lot of people are really upset about that because Deion's known for being big and flashy, and in the Black community there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we've been raised. That's how things have been going on for generations. So me personally, I don't see anything wrong with him being such a big personality, being loud, being flashy, and showing his swag.
I agree. I feel like ultimately Deion has always been his authentic self, and he's unapologetic for that. And so his confidence in who he is does rub people the wrong way if they don't have genuine intentions about it. You know what I'm saying? So the people who feel a way about it is because they don't want to rock with you in the first place. They were looking for something, you know? So he has the right people around him, backing him up, supporting him. It's taking them a long way thus far. You know, people have been rocking with Deion for many years. So if you do, great. If you don't, whatever. I encourage everybody to hop on the Deion bandwagon because, I mean, he's doing great things for these young men. So I'm proud of it.
I mean, this happens in sports from time to time. Like you have when a Black coach or something like that will get behind and we'll jockey there. I mean, Deion has always been prime time, and that's why his nickname is Prime. That's why they call him Prime Time. I mean, honestly, he is considered to be one of the greatest football players, if not the greatest of all time, especially in his position as a cornerback. I can't tell you another cornerback that even touches him. Honestly, the gap is kind of ridiculous. Like when wide receivers and stuff like that, it's kind of like, okay, you can see that this one's kind of close to that one. You could be like, oh, they have this, they don't have that. With Deion, he has it all. He has several Super Bowl rings. He has defensive player of the year awards. He has all the accolades. So you can't, you just can't deny, his greatness. And I love it. I love that he's talking shit. And honestly, he's not the first college coach to talk shit. Jimmy Johnson used to have a team at the U where they used to talk all the kind of shit they wanted to talk. Nick Saban has talked. Now, he may not do it as loud as Deion, but he talks plenty of shit. Okay. So all the other stuff, that's white folks.
It's all in the sports, though. I feel like so many people in sports, that's what they do. It's all about shit talking.
Yeah, exactly. But that gets in your opponent's head. Being able to back it up. Right, correct. That's what I'm saying. Sure. Correct. And they're good enough to do it. I like the team. They're a lot of fun. It's early. It's only 3 games. Now, yes. So that's because we knew they were going to play them tough, but the rest of their schedule was pretty decent. Now when they play USC and they take that game and they haven't lost, then we're really going to know something because then the odds in Vegas are going to start going up because they'll probably even make the top 10. Right now, they're only ranked number 18 in the top 25 poll. So you need to be ranked at least top 8 or 6 to even get a chance at the national championships because you got to get to those first playoffs and then to get to the bowl game. So they still have a ways to go. Yeah, but 3 games, that's the first quarter of the season. So I mean, they did that. They've handled business so far. So let's see what the rest. And then with Travis Hunter being out for 3 to 4 weeks, that's going to put a strain because he plays both ways. He's an Iron Man player, so he'll play on offense and defense. So you kind of lost 2 players, and that dude is like a generational talent. So it's it's a big kind of a hole to fill. So we'll see.
So what are your thoughts on should there be some kind of penalty after the fact for that? Because that was a cheap shot, after the fact, and he ended up having a lacerated liver, I believe, from that hit.
Yeah, he just got him. He got him at the wrong spot. The shot was definitely late. That means that your coach condones it. Head
hunting. You want to explain to us what that means?
Head hunting just means that when we see another player, we're trying to injure you to get you the fuck out this game. Because you're killing us and we're not going to beat you. So we're going to do whatever we can to injure you to get out this game. And I get it. You're trying to win a game. I mean, head hunting has been going around in football since the beginning of time. If a guy is doing really well, let's get it. But it's a dirty play. And plus it's college and you can't do that. Honestly, you should do it in the NFL anyway. But at that level, that's a little different. But in college, that means that your coach is allowing that type of culture to be. So honestly, he probably should get suspended at least a week, if not as long as Travis is going to be out.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, because honestly, if you don't do something, it's sending that message to other following teams that they're going to play that, hey, you can take these cheap shot at Shador or Shiloh or the rest of the team in order to get them out, and nothing's going to happen. Like, I don't think this should just be swept under the radar. I know they had like some penalty when it came to like the yards and stuff
30
like that, but
yards,
that
but
don't
that's
seem
not
like
enough.
enough.
It's not enough. Because, I mean, it's just a late hit. Late hits happen all the time. But it's just that
Yeah.
how late the hit was. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like the whistle had already blown, flag thrown, all that shit. And then you're going to hit him. That's the super late hit. You know what I'm saying? So it should at least be like a game suspension. Because the other part is this. Like, all right, it's just a
Yeah.
late hit. You can say it's being blown out of proportion. Sure, whatever. There's national eyes on it. But if a Colorado player had done it, you know what I'm saying? When the Dion's players had done it, oh my God, what would they have said? They would have been over here. He's just over here training them to be animals and all kind of bullshit. So he needs to be penalized because for just that reason. Because if Dion had done it, one of his team players, it would have been worse. So no. But again, hell of a game. The other dude's hell of a coach. I mean, it took them up to 2 overtimes to beat them. So I mean, that was the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was hell of a game. It's just that moment kind of put a little stain on that game. But other than that, I mean, that was shout out to Colorado State and all the boys over there. But shout out to Coach Prime in Colorado, and I'm hoping for big things this season.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Last thing I'll say about this do for the culture segment is, because they're doing such a phenomenal job straight out the gate, it has increased Shador Sanders' NIL deals immensely. I think he's like number one as far as college athletes when it comes to NIL deals. I think it's like up to like almost 3 million now or something like that. They were saying like some of his stuff is like more than what the baseline salaries are for some of the quarterbacks in the league. So I was just like, I'm happy that these college athletes are able to cash in on their name, image, and likeness now, because they're the reason why people are attending these games. They're the ones putting the butts in the seats. So it's like they should be able to, benefit from that and see some money come from that. So I'm happy for them. Congratulations, Dion. Continue to do the great work there with those boys. Happy to see it. And yeah,
I honestly think that paying them now will probably be a good thing for
Yes.
them keeping money later, because I feel like these are the time to really learn the lessons exactly.
They're
To,
used to it.
because like, and not getting it at
Exactly. Money
23, because
management.
you get it at 17, 18, when now you have a parent, someone who can actually help you. Like, you should hire this person, you should, right, all those things. So maybe you can build that protection for yourself. So hopefully.
Exactly. I love it. All right. Well, we'll talk about sports in the next month. So you're welcome.
Like, it's just like a little hint. Like, I feel like it's just such a tease.
We gave definitions. We talked so much sports today. That was so great.
Well, we could talk a little
give you
deeper
nice
about
things
sports,
from time
because
to
there were
time.
some other things about the game, some of the coverages and things that were very interesting. Some of the exotic things they were doing.
I think
My
we got
knowledge
it.
is surface level. I can't. We're gonna have to get a guest on the show to talk sports with you.
Clearly, because y'all are just like, we'll watch from here. Is that everything for Food for the Culture, Sean?
Exactly.
Oh my
That's
God!
everything.
Well, that means we've reached the end of the show. But before
why you say it like that? Oh my
before we
God!
go, we're gonna take a quick break, guys, and we're gonna be right back.
Hey
y'all, it's your boy Tris.
It's your girl Liz.
And I'm Sean the Don.
And we are
Culture 101, formerly known as the Millennial Masterclass.
We're the same old millennials.
And now we're pushing the culture forward. Oh my God. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Thanks again so much, guys, for tuning in to another episode of Culture 101. Shout out again to Dr. Jenika Hardeman. We love you so much. Thank you again. I hope you enjoyed part 2 of her interview. A fascinating lady with, a wonderful head on her shoulders, and even more accolades to support, all the wonderful ideas and knowledge that she has. Thank you for blessing us, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Also, shout out to Coach Prime and the boys. Love you guys so much. Killing it. Fucking killing it. You might see us in black and gold jerseys at some point. I've never even rooted for Colorado, but I'm going to start doing it. It's the whole thing. And hopefully, and then shout out to that man and his wife in their practices of the breast milking and such. Wonderful. I'm happy to see you guys.
Now you just giving anything a shout out.
That was really the last one.
All right,
That was
let's
the
wrap
last
it
one.
up.
'Cause I'm wondering
Just so you can
exactly.
wrap the burst up.
I'm
Let's
happy
wrap
for
it
them,
up.
man, that they're able to live their truth
Mhm.
just out here.
Mhm.
I'm concerned about their children, but other than that, I'm happy that they're living their truth. But guys, again, please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, like and subscribe if you have not. Join the conversation. We're on Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Exactly, guys. And then Leslie, hit them with the email. Tell them where they can hit us up and send those questions.
Yes, so if you have any questions, please email them to contact@culture101podcast.com. Please specify in the email if you want to remain anonymous when we read it aloud. So please specify or create a made-up name yourself. Or
that is very important because leave it up to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read it out. I'll read it all.
The business anyway. So just let us know.
Well, y'all, until the next time, I've been Trist.
It's your girl Les.
And I'm Sean the Don.
And y'all, even though the game may change, the vibe remains the same. We out, y'all.